So, Chelsea fans, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Here are your champions. It is the Tippler here, 3848, and we're going to be covering your starting 11 upgrades, downgrades, and other things. So, I'm going to start straight off by introducing you to the team that will be wearing the gold Premier League patches for next season. You've got Thibaut Courtois, fantastic goalkeeper. Can't say too much about him, more coming up. We've got the mainstays of Azpilicueta, Terry, Cahill and Ivanovic. These guys just keep getting older. Ivanovic 30, Terry 33. But last season, probably their best season in a Chelsea shirt, especially your captain, John Terry. He was absolutely on point in every single game. I think he played in every single game as well. So I can't say enough good about John Terry, personally. I know everyone's had this whole racism thing about him, but I don't think anything happened. He was found innocent at a court of law, so I'm just going to leave that be. I think Terry's a fantastic player. Imagine what England could have done at the World Cup if we had him. Got Matic and Fabregas sitting in front of them. Obviously Fabregas is going to be the box-to-boxer, and Matic will sit in and just look ridiculous at what he does. He's, just about as good as Francis Coquelin, but, he's got a little to improve. Okay, but I'm going to move on before I get too much hate. Got Hazard, Oscar and Willian as your sort of midfield attacking three. This is probably one of the best midfields in world football right now. Hazard, fantastic player, deserved all his individual accolades. I've really hoped he could have been pushed slightly more by Sanchez, but the media really got behind Hazard. He scored a lot of penalties, but then again, that's a skill in itself. Not all players can walk up to a penalty, wait for the goalkeeper to move and just stick it in the other corner and make the goalkeeper look ridiculous. Oscar, really hope you guys play some more of him. He's 23 years old, he's coming into his prime as an attacking mid. Play him more, he's skillful, he's strong for his size, but he probably could do with beefing up a little bit. But he's skillful, he'll ghost past people as if they're not there. He's pretty much a Hazard in the middle, but not as good as Hazard, sadly, for him yet. He's got time to develop. Willian, ridiculous engine, ridiculous stamina. He's up and down that wing like a whippet on speed. But no, he's absolute godsend for Jose Mourinho. He's always wanted players who will work as hard going forward as they will going backwards. A lot of players like Mata had to leave because of that fact. He wasn't willing to do the work. Willian never complains. He's up and down the wing all game long, helping Ivanovic, helping his striker, and you can't really ask for more from a modern day winger. And then you've got the potato faced man, who is Diego Costa. A ridiculous first season in English football, especially for somebody coming from a foreign league, but he's holding up to the physical nature of the Premier League really well. He is a beast, really. If there's a goal to be had, he's going to find it. He's really good at finding space in the penalty area, but he just makes a nuisance of himself. And I bet all of the Premier League sort of defenders, if they're coming up against Diego Costa, they're thinking, oh, for God's sakes, will he just leave me alone? But quickly onto your subs, we've got Begovic, you've got Kurt Zouma, who I think is first team ready and should be getting more of a chance this season. Loftus-Cheek, put your money where your mouth is, Jose. You said this kid's good, throw him in. Ramirez, who's a player I really like. Cuadrado, Remy and Falcao. Just a quick note on Falcao, I think Man United didn't play him correctly. If Jose Mourinho can play him correctly, I think he's going to have one hell of a player. There's no way that the player that ripped Chelsea apart in 20 minutes and scored like a hat-trick and then got another goal later on, I think it was, in the Super Cup for Atletico, that player's not gone. He's still in there. He just needs to untap it. But I'm going to move on. So on to Chelsea upgrades, and yes, it would have been easy to pick 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Could have done Costa, Hazard, Willian, Azpilicueta, could have done Terry, could have done Ivanovic, could have done Matic, could have done anyone. But I have chosen Courtois and Fabregas because I think a lot of people are going to choose sort of Hazard, Costa to throw lots and lots of upgrades at. But I'm going for Courtois because he's fantastic. 39 appearances, 35 goals conceded and 13 clean sheets last season. Ridiculous stats. Not even a goal conceded per game. Crazy for a goalkeeper. He has to be really going up towards the sort of Manuel Neuer 90s in the next couple of seasons if he keeps this up. He's not that old. He is 22, 23 years of age. He's got so much time. Goalkeeper is an old man's position, as we know. Fabregas! Oh, Cesc Fabregas. Kind of annoyed that he's done so well at Chelsea. I wouldn't mind him going abroad and doing really well, but I've upgraded him from an 85 to an 87 because look at those assists. Most in the Premier League. He nearly broke the record. Maybe if he hadn't kicked the ball at that guy's face, he could have done. But 47 appearances, 5 goals, 24 assists. That's 1 in every 2 games. I don't think you'll find stats like that anywhere else. But I'm not going to say it pains me as an Arsenal fan because we had the first option on him and we didn't take it up because we've got an abundance of those midfielders. We didn't need him. I can see why we didn't get him, but I wish him all the best. On to your downgrade. So, a couple of downgrades, and it's really hard to pick downgrades for a team who have just won the league. But if I had to pick 2, it's Ramirez and it's Cuadrado. Ramirez, 34 appearances, 4 goals, 4 assists. Probably hasn't had the amount of game time that he wanted. Maybe a lot of those appearances were substitute appearances. He is a CDM, but he's more of a box-to-box CDM. He's more of a Fabregas than a Matic, is what I'm trying to say. So he will get forward. He will try and sort of assist and score. And he's a fantastic player, and he's got a lot to offer still. So he'll be a good squad player for Chelsea if they keep him there. If he moves on, he's going to be a really good player for whoever gets him. Cuadrado! Again, not really hitting the heights of his Fiorentina career. 37 appearances last season, 6 goals and 4 assists. So I've knocked him down by 1 point. Only 1 point because I feel like he's a player that can get back to what he was doing in Italy. Chelsea just need to give him a bit of time and patience. It's going to be hard because Willian is so good and has been working so hard to keep his place, but Cuadrado, he'll get a lot of sub appearances, so if he can start adding goals and start making good runs, I think Jose will sort of see that in him and start throwing him in, but no doubt these two are very, very talented players. So quickly moving on to Chelsea transfers, and you've got 2 different things happening here. The back 3, you've got John Stones, Alex Song and Pedro at the top right. These are players that Chelsea are actually looking at, apparently. John Stones this morning has said he really wants to move to Chelsea, so we'll see how that progresses. Pedro is a player I don't think they really need. They got Hazard, they got Oscar, they got Willian, they got Cuadrado, and they've got other young players behind that. So I don't think that you really need Pedro. Alex Song, again, do you really need him? You've got Matic, you've got Ramirez. It depends if any of these players obviously move on in the next coming weeks. But the other 3, I've just put sort of 3 world-class players in. You've got Royce, Pogba and Sergio Ramos just to represent Chelsea as a whole. If there is a world-class player on the table for any amount of money, Chelsea want them. It's that simple. That's how they've stayed at the top. They've got Roman Abramovich's money behind them, and they are not afraid to throw it about. But power to them. That's what's got them to the top. That's what's going to keep them at the top, you'd assume, basically. And it's not very often that these kind of world-class players do come available, so when one does, pretty much every team in the world wants them, but realistically they're probably going to go to Chelsea, PSV, Man U, Man City, Barca and Real, because they're the ones that pay the massive wages. But that is going to be the end of this video. Hopefully you guys have kind of enjoyed. Oh, must quickly mention, you probably need a new left back, Chelsea fans, so I'd expect to see a lot of that going around, because obviously you've just sold Felipe Luis back to Atletico. But I couldn't actually find too many rumours of that at the moment, so I haven't added that in. John Stones, obviously a defender, he can play left back as well. So there is one. But hopefully you've liked my videos and liking the series so far. If you could throw me a like and a sub if you want to continue watching, and throw me a comment. Did I do well? What do you think, Chelsea fans? You are the champions. How do you add to your squad, who very much walked the Premier League last season? Your rivals are strengthening. Arsenal have strengthened. I wouldn't say Man City have at this point. Man United definitely have, but possibly in the wrong area, but I'll come to that in the Man United video. But where do you think you need to strengthen, and who should you get, Chelsea fans? But that's going to be me done here. Hopefully I've done you no disservices, because I'm an Arsenal fan. It is hard for me to just put my neutral head on when it comes to Chelsea. But hopefully I've done that, and hopefully you've enjoyed. So I will see you in the next one.